Hello everyone, welcome to this full stack roadmap video where you will see a step-by-step process of becoming a full stack developer. You can also become a front-end or only back-end developer if you want, but I will highly suggest to become a full stack developer because if you become a front-end developer, like you will just will be able to build the UI components, but there will be not that much logics. And again, if you just become a backend developer, you can only be like work in the backends. There is no like fun stuff is going on. You can, I will not say there is no fun, but I will say you will not see as much as a result you are going to see in the front end. So why not becoming the full stack so that we can make a project from start to end. We can see a lot of things going on, and we can also build logics, and we can also see that people are actually using that product or project and getting help by that. So I will highly suggest to become a full stack developer. I also followed this path. I actually have done a lot of mistakes, so I will actually give you the exact path that you should follow. So I will not actually give you a lot of things to learn, this, that, or that. I will actually give you the most, like go through step by step step by step process, that if you follow this 6 or 7 months, you will be like in a position where you can actually apply or actually build some real projects. So you can also do freelance projects if you want. We should now start the journey. So first you have to learn the HTML. It is HTML is the like building blocks, like the core, the like it is the skeleton of a website. If you see a website, like if I show you, like you can learn HTML in W3 schools. It's a website, it's a great website. I have learned a lot of things from here. So if you go to this website, you can see this text or this like text buttons and everything you see, icons, text. This is because of HTML. This is the skeleton of the page. Then we have you have to learn HTML first. If you learn HTML, and then you have to learn CSS. CSS is the like styling this text. You can make this text red, yellow, green, whatever you want. You can, and they have made this button looks like green. So you can make style these things, style this everything with CSS. So we use HTML and CSS both to like showing this text or components and everything, button, and do everything just showing. Not you cannot actually interact with just HTML and CSS. It will be only rendered. You can only see, not interact with HTML, CSS. So these are not, HTML, CSS is not actually a programming language, but it is a markup language, and it is if you search it, if you can see here, if you come here, you can learn HTML and also CSS from this website. This is a really great resource. You can check this out. So CSS is the language we use to style an HTML document. What I have said this, they are also saying the same. So you can actually style an HTML document. So CSS describes how HTML elements should be displayed. So here you can see CSS in hundreds of examples. They had given hundreds of examples here. You can learn here CSS from here if you want. So there is a lot of things going on in this website. You can learn a lot of things, like very important thing is CSS responsive. How can you make a website responsive to the mobile devices? Your website will show like not breaking, and it will not break in the mobile devices, so that people can actually see your website in the mobile. Then after learning this HTML and CSS, you can learn this from here, or from YouTube. You can, if you whatever you like. So don't worry about that. I will suggest to learn the basics. Basics would be good for now. So after learning the basics, I would not go through everything. I would just go through the most important things like buttons, like multiple columns or something. Like I would not like now I would not like get mad with text effects. I would not go to that much deep into it now, for now, just for the basic level. So I'll go through here everything. Like padding and margin is really core thing in the CSS. You have to like understand it, borders, backgrounds, colors. These are the like main things you have to learn these things as quickly as you can. So after learning this, you will try to make some projects. I have actually provided some links here, some website links what you can actually clone them if you want. This will be a little bit advanced for you, but if you can just clone this website 50 or 60%, that would be really good enough. That will be enough for you. For now, I have provided the links. You will get this like full roadmap in the description. Okay, so don't worry, you will also find this website. You just have to copy this link and paste. You will find this website. So after making some projects, like you have to learn first HTML, CSS, and then you will make some projects, and you will like you can clone this website or you can clone any other website. You can also go and try to make this navbar. This is a navbar, or you can say this is the header section. You can make this header section if you want. Okay, then you have to learn a Git or GitHub. Git and GitHub. GitHub is a website. It's a website of Microsoft where your code will you can store your code online. You can store your code online, and by using Git is a version controlling system. Like if I search Git is a version controlling system that you like it will track your code you are changing. Like suppose you are changing codes, so it will track. You can commit, you can like do a lot of things. I will suggest to learn the basic 3 or 4 commands in the basic level. For now, we can learn the advanced things as we go along with the roadmap, so don't worry. And one more thing is, I have told you that GitHub, or you can also use the alternative GitLab or something. You can also use that if you want, but most of the people, as I also use GitHub, actually I didn't. You can also use this GitLab. They are actually both are same, but I also used GitHub, and I will also suggest to use this one. So if I just show you that my I have so in here I have also an account. You can check that out. You can also log in, and you can store your codes online, so that if your computer also get lost, you can get your codes and all. You can also publish your code, and other people can also collaborate in here. So by using Git, so this is a really good, really useful thing to have. Like this thing will need if you join a company, they will actually use like a Git or GitHub. They will actually use them so that they can collaborate with a lot of people at the same time. So you have learned HTML, CSS, made some projects. You have learned now Git and GitHub, so that you can push this code online, and you can show the results or code to other people. Okay, now you will learn. So this is a little bit good. You are come through some, you have progressed some. So next is, I would suggest to learn Tailwind. What is Tailwind? Tailwind is nothing but a CSS utility framework. It is nothing but CSS utility framework. You can use, like, what is utility framework? You can use CSS in much easier way with Tailwind. Like if I go to Tailwind, if I show you, so here if you are really beginner, you will not understand, but I'll try to break it down. So in css we have to learn write a lot of things, lot of code to achieve this kind of result. But with tailwind we can just write like some classes like this shorthand, and this will like generate a lot of code, 4 5 line of code. So okay, so it's just these 3 word will generate 3 4 lines of code. So same is like if you use this much of code, you can like it represents a lot of code. Like they have showing that they are writing some classes. This is calls classes. So they are writing classes, and it is changing here. So okay, so it is just writing less code and getting a lot of outputs. And also css is a really tricky thing. It can mess you up. You can actually spend a lot of time. I actually have done this in my career. That is not actually really good. I should have not spent that much time. I have actually watched a lot of tutorial. I was in a tutorial hell in the css. So I should have actually learned this tailwind. Or there is one more thing, tailwind is there is one more thing, bootstrap. It is actually used a lot of in the past, yet many people use this bootstrap. But I will suggest you to go to Tailwind, because in this modern age everyone is using Tailwind. Like Tailwind is now like becoming the market's #1. So you should also go with the Tailwind. Everyone is now using Tailwind and everyone is loving Tailwind. I also really fan of Tailwind. So you can like Tailwind is for writing css more easier way. You will not need that much of time to use tailwind, because you are eventually writing css. Everything is css. If I go here and like this is everything is css. Like they are saying block, it will generate this code. So this is css. You're just generating css with writing classes, nothing fancy. So next thing is I will suggest you to learn Figma basic Figma design, to how to like use Figma or something, how to design a small section, small components. What is Figma? If I go to Figma website, Figma is nothing but a design tool. You can design here, you can design with your friends, you can design with your colleagues. If you want, you can you can design here. You can design mobile apps, you can design website, you can design anything you want, also with a lot of people at the same time in a same place. Okay, so this is very handy. You can just design your website fast, so that you know how it will look in the end. Then you can code it. So there will be less like after you have made your design, you will know how it looks, so you will not get disappointed later. So also you will get Figma files from your client or from your like your boss, your manager. So you will convert that Figma file into code with this HTML CSS tailwind or say JavaScript. So you have to understand how to use Figma. So these two things are really great to have. So main thing we have learned so far, HTML, CSS and Git and GitHub. Tailwind and Figma is an extra thing. This is nothing. You should not waste that much of time in here. So you just have to move on. So then we'll try to make some projects with this Tailwind, because Tailwind you have to build a muscle memory. You should actually build a lot of projects. In every step we have to like should make projects that will actually be really grow ourselves. I have also provided 3 links, 3 websites. You can check them out, you can clone them out, you can actually download these resources from this link. You will go with this link, and then you can download this like pictures and images and all icons. Then you can use them in your website. You can clone this website. Okay, so these 3 things, you can check them out, or you can clone any other website. If you want, if you want to clone the Netflix, you can do that, but that will be a really advanced thing to do. But if you can do that, then we have to jump into JavaScript. What is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language. These things are not programming language. Okay, now we are moving into programming language. JavaScript is the only programming language for the front end. And also I should mention it now that you can also use JavaScript in the backend. Before before 2000, before releasing Node.js, we actually can write JavaScript in the backend, because of Node.js mainly. Before that, people used another language in the backend, but in this era we can actually write front end and backend with one language. So this is really became very easy. It became very handy to we can learn one language and can use front end also backend. So we learn JavaScript basic. JavaScript is really fast. If you try to finish learning JavaScript, it will take like 1-2 years. Even after 5 years of learning, a senior developer can't guarantee that he knows everything in JavaScript. So you should not waste that much of our time in JavaScript. So I will show you how to learn from JavaScript. I actually am building a playlist in JavaScript. So this channel also focused really on JavaScript. You can also learn, you can subscribe to this channel to learn JavaScript. And also I'll give you the W3 school to learn actually JavaScript. But this MDN website, this developer.mozilla.org, JavaScript, they actually provide articles on JavaScript, but these articles are really advanced. You can check them out, but there is most probably you will not understand that much. So you should start from here. If you want W3 school, they actually have a lot curriculum here, good curriculum. If you follow this this structure, you will be good. You can also follow any YouTube tutorial you want. There is no bound. You can go to YouTube. If I go YouTube, you can so I have actually typed JavaScript, so they are giving me a lot of tutorial here. You can find Hindi, Bangla tutorial you want. If you want, you have also English tutorial. You can also say tutorial for beginners or something like that. So there is a lot of videos. If you want to watch any of this, you can see and go through curriculum. Also, my channel is going to focus on JavaScript, so you can also subscribe to this channel if you want. Okay, now then after learning JavaScript, we'll try. Mainly JavaScript actually brings interactivity to our website. If we suppose we are clicking here, it is clearing the input box. It is happening because of mainly because of JavaScript, and also we can click here and it will search. Everything is happening because of JavaScript. So JavaScript actually brings interactivity to our website. So now we will try to make some projects with JavaScript. Mainly we will focus to use these logics from JavaScript, there are some basic things like for loop, variables and functionality. Try to make some projects with this logic to build. You can go to build a game, but I would not actually suggest to build games. I will suggest you to make some small implement small JavaScript, click event. Click, what will happen if I click here and there will be a box open? What will happen if I click here? There will be another box will open. What if I click here? It will be hidden. What if I again click here? It will be shown. So this small interactivity, you can implement those things. Then little by little, gradually you can also make complex things like games with JavaScript. You can also search here games JavaScript. You can make games with JavaScript. You can see here they have actually shown them, so you can follow any tutorial if you want. Okay, so if you guys actually comment below if you need some resources, if you need some like good resources that I followed or something, you can comment below. I will provide them. I can make a video or I can also provide them. So after building some basic websites, I will highly suggest you to use API. What is API? API is nothing but a program like if you search what means API, what does means API in JavaScript or something like programming, you can application programming interface. They actually, it is what it does actually, it actually provides a lot of like information. Like you can search for weather API. So weather API, what will it provide? It will provide a lot of bunch of information about weather, in real-time weather. So you can use that information, so and then you can show them in your website, so people can see weather, how is that, how is now weather is, they can see in your website. That is actually really a useful thing. You can find a lot of API, like API, I can say API or something. I actually don't want okay, API list. Okay, API list. If I go to API list, there is a lot of API, lot of like APIs. You can get book API, you can get country API, the meal DB. There is meal DB is API where you get a lot of food related information, like REST API that uniformly and well formatted jokes. You can get joke. This joke API will provide a lot of joke, random get. You can get a lot of things if you search in the online. So I'll highly suggest to in this situation, try to use API and make your website dynamic. Okay, then after learning this JavaScript, we'll switch between we'll move into JavaScript framework or library. There are a lot of JavaScript library or framework. Actually what it does, library and framework makes our life more easier. In with vanilla JavaScript, with only JavaScript, we have to write a lot of code. Like when we actually in the CSS part, we actually have to write a lot of code. But when we will use Tailwind, we don't have to write that much code. Just two word will generate multiple lines of code in CSS. So it was actually doing Tailwind. So now if this is the same thing JavaScript framework or library will do, they will give you a lot of pre-made things so that you don't have to write. You can just focus on building your project. So there are a lot of JavaScript library or framework. You can search JavaScript libraries or framework list. There you will get a lot of like Vue, Angular is popular and now is built and spelled. And there is one more, I guess they haven't give you that, React. I would actually suggest you to learn the React. I would not actually suggest you to learn Vue or Angular or spelled, cause React is really in demand. Like React is also a JavaScript library, or React is a framework like Next.js, or React is library. So I would highly suggest you to learn the core React. I would not actually suggest you to right away move into Next.js. Next.js is also a framework, a full stack framework with JavaScript. I would not actually suggest you to do that. I would suggest to learn the basic React first, the fundamentals of React. So this is a JavaScript library. the library for web and native user interface. You can also make mobile application with React Native, the same thing, same concept. You can just learn one thing and you can build for two things. Also you can also build for web, also can use build for mobile application. So this is the library I would suggest you to actually learn and actually be good at it, because there is a lot of demand in job market and also freelance work, and React is actually booming. Okay, so don't worry about that. There is a lot of library and framework in JavaScript, but I will highly suggest you to learn only React. So you can see here they are writing code and this is generating three things. Okay, you can actually, like, this is storage. You can use JavaScript in HTML. Okay, this is like in HTML you have to write probably of code, but here you can also only wrote one line, and this is generating the three components. Okay, three components. So this is the power, of React. You can also like write logics and make your website very dynamic. Okay, you can make your website very dynamic. Okay, then learning this JavaScript library React, you have to make really 3 4 5 projects with this React only. There are some things in this library you have to also learn, because this is an ecosystem. You have to learn some things in this ecosystem. React is not, so this is not a full like you will not get everything here, so you have to learn some things outside of this, like React router for routing, and React query, React hook form. React query is for fetching data from an API. I have shown you that you can with React query you will fetch data from an API with React hook form. So building a form, like a form of sign up form or something. If I search for sign up form or something, you see in the websites, this is building this is really hard to build, and also maintaining this form is really hard. So we will use React hook form, so it will make our life very easy to like building form and getting the data. So you also have to get the data, and we have to send this data in the backend so that we can store this valuable data. So this is form is a really complex thing. This hook, this library makes our life very easy. So these things make our life very easy. So router is for navigating in pages between. So React actually is a single page application, like this page is not reloading. So if I show you, this page is actually, if I move into pages, this page is actually reloading. You can see it reloading. But if I go to the React page, this page will not actually reload. This page is changing the directory, but it is not actually reloading. So it is much faster than these multiple page reloading. So this is called single page application. So we use React router to like switch between multiple page like this. We can switch between multiple page like this. Okay, so the next thing is to learn backend. So we have actually finished front end here. If you just come here, you actually will be finished to learn front end. You are now somewhere in the front end. You can actually build application, build projects. Good project, not that much bad, not that much you are not become so much senior, not that much you are now a junior front end developer. Okay, So in this now you are junior front-end developer, but we actually want to become a full stack developer, cause we don't know where is this data coming from. We are using API, but we don't know how this data is coming from, where we are actually sending data and what is happening in the backend. We actually want to know that, because if you don't know about backend anything, I think that is really make confusions in your mind. Because when I was also learning this front end HTML, CSS and JavaScript, I was actually curious to how this data is going to affect in the backend, where is this data are going, where this data is coming from, and everything. So I actually, in that time, I watched a long Node.js tutorial, a backend tutorial. So that tutorial covered my some questions, but not that much. So then we will switch to backend. Now this is our backend journey. I will suggest you to learn, go through this process, this front end. Invest your 4 or 5 months, like heavily use your 4 or 5 months to this front end, and then you will be in a decent position. After that you move backend. So don't backend is really vast. So I will not suggest you to spend a lot of time. Be good at front end and have a knowledge about backend. That would be really great. So I will suggest you to spend like 1.5 or 2.5 months in here to learn things, and also build projects in front end and the back end, so that you actually practice a lot. Your muscle memory becomes more stronger. So here first thing we learn Node.js is a JavaScript environment. You can in the basic level, JavaScript only runs in the browser, but with the help of Node.js you can also learn JavaScript in your machine, in your computer, mainly outside of the browser. That was not possible before, but now this is possible after Node.js is built. So I will not say so much things about Node.js or Express and MongoDB. I will just say Node.js is nothing but JavaScript with some extra benefits you will get, and Express is nothing but a Node.js framework. You will build backend with Express. You will combining these two, you can make API. First we have used API. We didn't know how this API made, where this data is coming from. But now, after learning this Node.js and Express, we will build our backend and also make some basic API, so that we will have a knowledge how these APIs are made. Okay, then the data, we are making the logics when to send what data, but we are not actually yet know where this data is coming from, or where we are storing those data. We are actually mainly using MongoDB or a database. That could be SQL database or NoSQL database. There is two type of database, mainly SQL and NoSQL. So MongoDB is a NoSQL database. SQL database has MySQL is a SQL database, but we are not going to learn MySQL for now. We will just go with the MongoDB NoSQL database, because this is a little bit easier, and this is if I search it, you can MongoDB is really now a popular thing. This is using this MongoDB is really now easy. For now we'll just stick with MongoDB, because we are not really focusing on backend, but we are having a knowledge about backend. We can make some APIs and do some logics here and there, and we have an idea of backend. database. So this is really vast. If you want to go deep down it, you can go deep, but I will suggest you for now learn the basics and all, and try to build a whole application, whole full stack application, so that you become really good at the logics and everything. So this is a full stack roadmap. This is mainly a full stack roadmap. There will be some here and there things you have to learn, like how to use icons, how to use font awesome icons, how to use SVG, how to use this or that. You will learn those things, but the main thing is this: HTML, CSS, Git, GitHub, Tailwind, learn some basic Figma design, then JavaScript, then React frame library. You can learn React or Vue if you choose, but I would suggest React. That's it, your front end is done. Make projects between these learnings, because making projects is the best thing, because I have actually didn't make that much projects in my early learning. I actually have did this very wrong thing, but I should have done projects like this, 3 4 5 projects. So then we'll move into the backend. We'll just have grasp of backend. We'll try to make some APIs and try to MongoDB. So this will be our full stack roadmap. This is the main thing. You can get the resource from internet. You can just search in the Google and get those resources. And also there is some extra things, like not this extra things. After learning these things, you can also learn these extra things, like I would suggest you to learn the Chrome dev tool when you have learning these things. When you are learning JavaScript, learn the Chrome dev tool, because it will actually need you. It is actually, you can't avoid this Chrome dev tool. Okay, so there are 5 things here in the Chrome dev tool. I will suggest to learn element tab, console tab. What is Chrome dev tool? If you just right click here, if you go to our website and right click and go to inspect, you will find let me just pull it down. So you will find, just let me make it bigger. You will just find some tabs: element tabs, console tabs, sources tabs, network tabs, and other tabs. These tabs are really gives you an inspection of your website. You can debug a lot of things. You can debug a lot of error by coming here, by seeing the backend things, seeing the code. This is all, everything is code. So this is the Chrome dev tool. I will highly recommend you to learn this Chrome dev tool as soon as possible. You can learn 5 things here: element tab, console tab, source tab, network tab, and performance tab. And then you can learn that you can learn TypeScript or Redux. TypeScript is nothing but JavaScript, also JavaScript programming language. TypeScript actually provides type safety in JavaScript. In JavaScript, there is JavaScript is dynamic typing language, but TypeScript actually make this type safe. So now industry standards actually use this TypeScript, so you should learn this. Also, Redux is for state management, manages your variables, manages your multiple states in your application. So this is the whole roadmap. If you want to follow this one, you can follow, or if you have any questions or if you need any resources, you can actually comment below, or you can also DM me if you want. You can DM me in Twitter if you want. You can mail me if you want. Okay, so this is that. I'll see you actually in the next video.